It's movie talk time, and on today's show, we are discussing Andy Muschietti's comments about The Flash being his next project. On top of that, there's a new project brewing over at Blumhouse right now that has Vince Vaughn in talks to star. On top of that, apparently it's a body swap horror movie from the guy who directed the Happy Death Day movies, Chris Landon. I am quite pumped to talk about that one. But we've got a great lineup here because that's not the only two stories we're going to get to today. We actually have three for you. And I get to talk to Jay and Jaby right now. Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
I like the shirts we've got going on today. It feels like...
This is my favorite shirt of all time.
Because it's My Little Pony, but
Yeah.
I guess My Little Pony isn't like a 90s thing anymore.
No, but it's just the idea that Bane and My Little Pony would be reaching out to embrace each other in a hug. It's
Adorable.
my favorite
And
shirt of all
yesterday
time.
was Power Rangers Day, so I didn't get a chance to celebrate it. So I wore
Should have worn
Power
my shirt yesterday.
Yeah, I'm celebrating Power Rangers.
I love
Day
how I
today.
said I should have worn my shirt like I have one Power Ranger
You
shirt.
have
I have
one.
like 10.
I have one shirt in my
I have
closet.
this one specific Power Rangers
I
shirt.
have to wash it every day.
I'm
It's
just-
like me saying I have one Jurassic Park shirt. Half my wardrobe is Power Rangers and Jurassic Park.
I'm laughing at the fact that the caption for the Blumhouse story said Vince into Blumhouse.
Was that up there?
Yes.
This is
it
why I have to
was.
screen them all first, Adam. God forbid
It
I
was
see them and
Vince
laugh in
into
the middle.
Blumhouse, and it tickled me so much.
That's going to be an interesting story to discuss today. But first, of course, we have to get to this The Flash news. So reports, of course, swirled back in July that It Chapter 2 director Andy Muschietti was in talks with Warner Brothers to helm The Flash. Now it sounds like whatever contract issues they were trying to work out, it's a done deal because Muschietti confirmed to Fandango that The Flash indeed will be his next project. But I mean, let's get real here for a second. We have had confirmations regarding directors with this movie time and time again. Do you think that this is the real deal? Is Andy Muschietti really going to go into production on the Flash movie soon?
I think that's the question. I think that's the question. Is he going to go into production? Like, we'll have a director. We've had Seth Green-Smith, Rick Fumiyama, how many other ones? It was
Then it was the directors of Game
Yeah,
Night.
there was Francis Daly and Ghost. Yeah, this has been the fourth directorial choice.
I think the timing is good. The timing is Ezra Miller will be coming off of the Fantastic Beasts movie, so it'll be just perfect. He'll have just enough time to figure out his story, assuming Ezra Miller is cool with it.
Well, he's one, and he was trying to rewrite a script to make it a dark Flash, and now Muschietti said it's not going to be a horror Flash.
That's the thing I find really interesting. I mean, I don't want Muschietti to be boxed into only horror. I don't think any creator out there should be boxed into something, but he is an exceptional horror director, and it's just funny that what Ezra Miller and John
Morrison,
they weren't seeing eye to eye on is that the writer-directors wanted to go the more comedic route and Ezra Miller wanted to go the darker route. You would think by bringing in someone like Muschietti, it would be a sign that they're going to embrace that. But according to the quote that he gave to Fandango, that's not the case. They asked him, will it have an element of horror? And he said, I don't think so. What captivated me about The Flash is the human drama in it, the human feelings and emotions that play in the drama of it. It's going to be fun, too. I can't promise that there will be any horror elements in it, really, but it's a beautiful human story.
But horror and dark are not synonymous.
No.
Those are two different things.
Of
Like
course.
Dark Knight was dark.
Yeah, but-
Batman Begins was dark. That's not horror.
I know, but at the same time, you hear what Ezra Miller was complaining about when John Francis Daly and Jonathan Goldstein had a lighthearted fun, because they did Spider-Man Homecoming and they did Game Night, so you knew what they were getting. They wrote Spider-Man Homecoming, so you knew what they were giving you with the Flash, which is the type of Flash you want. You know the type of Flash that Ezra Miller has played in both Suicide Squad and BVS and even in Justice League. But then for him to say he wants a dark, more brooding, serious story based off of his character from Fantastic Beasts is all confusing.
Yeah.
So does this movie actually go into production is the real question.
It sounds like Ezra Miller doesn't really understand what makes Flash so special, at least his
does not,
version
no
of it.
clue.
He's trying to sculpt a different version of it to sculpt a different image of himself, and it's not the place to do it. He needs to do that with a different story, a different movie.
I'm not well read enough on his quotes regarding his take on The Flash to agree or disagree with that. And I also don't think we've seen him fully bring The Flash to the big screen. So hopefully this combination is what really shows us that, maybe Muschietti has a great handle on the character, and so does Ezra Miller when he gets his own solo movie. The thing that makes me think that Muschietti could add a touch, I'm not saying full-blown horror, but a touch of what we know he's capable of from his prior movies is with what David Sandberg did with Shazam, because Shazam is lighthearted and adventurous adventure and a ton of fun, super sweet movie, and it's just
Then the 7 deadly sins in that office
there's one
scene.
particular scene. I doubt that they're gonna push it that far with any specific scene in this movie,
Look,
but
it's past-
there
it's
is
past
ways
there.
to put little tinges in
Look,
there.
I see what you're trying to tease at. Look, that movie been out for months. If you ain't seen it, there's a scene in an office where people just die left and right, and you're like, that should not be happening in Shazam. So I get what you're saying. If we get that type, like people should not be dying like that. Like if you do have a reverse Flash put his hand through somebody, then I can see if you pull that off, then that could be considered the dark horror element of it when it comes to the Flash. But I don't know what we are expecting.
It doesn't sound
anymore.
like he has the intentions to do
Right.
so anyway. It's just a hypothetical situation.
On a surface level, without like diving into what Muschietti said, just thinking about him and being attached to Flash, it seems like he could bring what Sam Raimi brought to the first 2 Spider-Man films. Just his sensibility of it, because Sam Raimi largely did like the horror movies, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Evil Dead series and all that stuff. I mean, it's
That's a good comparison, actually.
And so I think he could bring that touch to it. It doesn't have to go full blown like dark.
No,
but
of course not.
He can bring an
Not
edge
Spider-Man
to it.
3. Not that at
No,
all.
that's why I didn't mention that. But he can bring an edge to it that maybe we haven't previously seen with the Flash installments, like in the film, in the theaters so far.
And that's the cool thing about it is that it proves that he is not just a great horror director. He's a great director, period. Because you could look at any frame of those movies and everything is stunning. His transitions are spot on. He clearly knows how to work with a cast. That he's got so many tools in his back pocket that can come in handy on any movie, whether it's a big franchise movie, a little horror movie, you name it. I really do think that any project that attaches him is going to be at a certain level, if not way above.
What is obvious to me is that he really cares about characters.
Yes.
And that's what made it Chapter 2 as long as it is, because he loves characters. And I think that he just wants to honor the Flash character as much as possible.
And I think when we talk about the Flash and to like sum all this up, it's been so long until it finally happens. We've heard about this movie for so long to have so many roadblocks consistently happening. So when you say, yeah, you potentially have a director officially, this is his next project, yes, I don't care about it till you tell me this movie has gone into production and has a release date. That's when I'll really care. I'm be honest, because we keep having release dates pushed back and everything. Tell me you go into production, you have an official release date, boom, then I'll care about the Flash fully.
Okay.
Do you think people would be excited if anyone else was playing Flash instead of Ezra Miller?
I mean, it depends who. It's the same thing when I think about Henry Cavill and Superman. I know there's going to be a point where they recast Superman and it's just a brilliant character that deserves to be on the big screen, no matter, who is in the role, assuming whoever is in the role deserves it and is a good fit. But when it comes to Ezra Miller in particular, I saw sparks of something special in those other movies, and I want to see more from him. I want to see more. I don't think that Justice League did him justice, and I think this is a character that, I couldn't help it. I just think that we are going to see what he's really capable of in a full feature all on his own.
Yeah. Speaking of Superman, I still want to see the Nick Cage version of Superman.
I just want to see a Man of Steel sequel.
You knew that Nick Cage was supposed to play Superman.
I know. The death of
Yeah.
Superman lives. What
We're
happened?
very
Shouts out to the late
familiar
great
here.
John Snap. We know, but don't nobody want to see Nicolas Cage
Yeah.
like that.
All right, I hate ending on a bummer of a note right now, but I have to ask this because it might have been brought up in the office today. If we kickstart a little The Flash movie pool right now, and you had to place your bets on when Andy Muschietti leaves the project, what would you pick?
6 months.
I'm betting he does it.
I give it 6 months. It is August now, going into September, October, November, December, January, February. By March, he's off. By the time Birds of Prey gets ready to come out, he'll be gone.
Remind me the release date on Birds of Prey.
February 6th, 2020.
I mean, honestly, if Jaby hadn't picked that, I would have gone with it, because what I think might happen with Muschietti is I think he's going to do this movie, and then I think he's going to go back to horror, and I think he's going to go smaller horror, and I'm hoping that their Roadwork adaptation gets off the ground after this movie. So deep down, I would pick that, but I would add a couple more months if other Warner Brothers DC collaborations don't really pan out. Maybe that'll rock the boat a little, but I don't know. I can't even just throw out a number to throw one out. I have to go with, I think he's really going to do it. You're right there.
I'm sure he can convince Ezra Miller of his vision of the story and make it work.
It just seemed like it's a jinxed property, just to go, for instance, how Gambit was at Fox. It never happened. I kept having directorial situations and everything kept changing.
You say that now, it's a completely different situation with all of those characters.
Yeah,
Who knows what the future can hold?
I mean, that's true now, but I'm talking about how it parallels.
Exactly.
It parallels it, but
you never know what can happen.
See.
All right.
It's gonna happen, bro. It's gonna
I'm
happen.
gonna hold tight to our hopes because I'm always rooting for Muschietti. All right. Before we make our way over to story number 2, which is that Blumhouse update, we've got some stuff coming to the Collider Video YouTube channel to tell you about, specifically today, Jedi Council. Here's a promo.
Hello, how are you guys doing? I'm Christian Harloff. I'm the host of Collider Jedi Council. We talk about everything Star Wars, and if you want to catch our weekly show where we talk about the latest and greatest in Star Wars, it's movie news, it's canon, it's all of it. We take questions from you guys. How do you do it? Main channel, that's right here. Subscribe to this channel, and you can listen, you can watch, you can do all of it, but if you want to just listen to it, you got the podcast feed too. Stitcher, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever it is, you can listen to it in your car. Do all of it. It's Star Wars. Episode 9's coming out, and then after Episode 9, you got TV shows, so we're going to be your sports center for Star Wars. Do it. Come on. Be real.
So obviously we were just talking a lot about Andy Muschietti and The Flash, but of course we can't get ahead of ourselves. It Chapter 2 hits theaters on September 6th, and when I tell you Collider has a lot of It Chapter 2 coverage coming your way, you have no idea. I would keep an eye on the main Collider Video YouTube channel, the Collider Interview channel, where you can already get the Witching Hour extended discussion with James Ransone. There's going to be so much more up there soon. There's so many think pieces and spoiler conversations down the line on Collider.com. But one other video that I'm very excited about, just because I got a kick out of thinking about this with Vinny and Dorian when we were at D23 this weekend, is we did a video interview with the adult cast where they told us who they think should play I started by calling them the elderly losers, and then I felt bad. So it's like the young losers, the adult losers, and then the old losers.
The geriatric losers.
Yeah, all right.
losers.
You guys just went for it before I know.
Senior citizen losers.
We got a lot of great suggestions. You can find that video right now on the Collider Interview YouTube channel. But really quickly, if you could cast one, I don't even know what word to use anymore, old loser, who would it be and why?
I think I would go with Sean Penn for Bill.
Okay.
Yeah.
I could see
I think
that.
Sean Penn can pull that off.
Diane Lane for Beverly.
But I got one more.
That's a good one.
Diana.
So I don't want to spoil
Sidney
anything in the
Poitier
video.
for Mike. Hell yeah, man.
You went rich.
I
don't
want
I just
Sidney
went
Poitier
Dennis
back.
Haysbert for Mike.
Yeah.
I'm not going to spoil any of that video, but Jay Washington should go watch that video because he just came up with a very good idea. All right, I'm going to leave you guys with that. Let's talk a little bit about this new Blumhouse movie in the works. Vince Vaughn and Katherine Newton are currently in talks to star in an untitled Blumhouse movie from director Christopher Landon. According to Collider's own sources, the project is being described as a body-swapping horror film in the vein of Freaky Friday. Discussing Film first reported on the Top Secret Project earlier this month, saying that it would focus on a killer who wreaks havoc in a small town. So Jeff pointed this out in his article on Collider.com. If Vince Vaughn plays a killer and then Katherine Newton is like one of his potential victims and they body swap, that's a really fascinating concept, especially from the guy who worked on the Happy Death Day series.
Yeah, that's weird. Oh my God.
I love this.
I just want to know how the body swap happens. I think that's the interesting part.
This is definitely a
can't
unique
even
concept.
This is very
now.
much a unique concept to hear.
It's different.
It's basically like Happy Death Day all over again, where, I mean, this one is taking Freaky Friday and putting a horror genre spin on it, just like that was taking Groundhog's Day and putting a horror spin on it. And then with the sequel, Happy Death Day to You, he put in some Back to the Future. So this just seems like the right path for him.
I love that Freaky Friday just owns that idea now, because that's been done multiple times before.
But
Freaky
you
Friday.
always go to Freaky Friday.
Yeah, that's
no
the one
matter
that
what.
everyone goes to. I like this concept a lot. I think Vince Vaughn is naturally creepy, so
He is very talented.
No, I think he is talented, but he has a creepy kind of
Creepily
persona.
talented. He's got range. He's got range.
He's
to
got
be
range.
honest
Let's
with
just
you.
say,
But, like,
I've watched Dodgeball 18 times. He's got range.
He was the silver lining in Psycho, so right? That was him, right?
I liked him in Fighting With My Family. I actually liked him in Fighting With My
You
Family.
know what? That's still on the top of my must-watch list to circle back, because I think I was in Sundance when those screenings happened, and I'm like kicking myself over it. I got to get around to
Rewatch
it.
it.
I hear
Rewatch.
great things
Very
about
good
that
story.
movie. I'm excited to see Katherine Newton pick up more projects too. I mean, I first saw her in Big Little Lies. Of course, she had Detective Pikachu out earlier this year, so I'm curious to see what she could do with another big role here.
And especially a horror film.
Yeah.
So like say this one is, you talk about range. You want to see a different range in that. Horror will take a different range where she now has to play somebody potentially possessed by, her body's possessed by a serial killer. That is crazy.
So
But
is that-
it's a subgenre of horror, though, because it's horror comedy. Like Happy Death Day was horror comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, without a doubt. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Christopher Landon has the skills for that too. Have either of you ever seen Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse?
No.
Heavily underrated movie. It is just like oozing with color, and it's got a lot of fun energy to it. But that movie was a Paramount release that I think it like kind of got shafted right before it hit theaters, where I forget what the issue was. I know whatever happened with Paranormal Activity Ghost Dimension happened with that movie, where I think it was the release window was like super tight, where it hit theaters and then it was available on VOD very, very soon after, and it kind of screwed with the box office a little.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate because that movie is fun but
The Scout's
underseen.
Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse.
It's fun.
Okay.
Seriously, go see it.
It sounds like it's a fun title, just something to hear. Just go see the
I'm
Scout's
just
Guide.
excited to see a woman inhabit Vince Vaughn's body. That sounds
That's
exciting.
an interesting way to put it, Jaby. All right, going back to the synopsis here, focusing on a killer who wreaks havoc in a small town. Is that how you see this playing out? Is Vince Vaughn the killer and he body swaps with a victim, or can you figure out any other way for this to play
with a
out?
potential victim.
Yes.
Yeah, she's probably a potential victim or something like that.
I mean, I was just about to apply Happy Death Day to it, where it's a loop.
It's just
Like someone doesn't realize until right when the death occurs, and then there's a switch, and he's got to like reassess what he did or something.
ooh.
I'm not
That
ready
just really got
for
some
I'm not
deep-
ready for this
That
crossover
just really
right
got
now.
deep in the thought.
I don't know what happened there, but I do like the concept, though. What's the question?
What do you think? How it's going to play out? Are we talking about Vince Vaughn as a killer body swapping with a potential victim?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's
That's the only way. That's the only way this can go. But I just want, like I said, I want to know how the body swap happens. That's something that's going to make it unique.
It's going to be an interesting challenge acting-wise for both of them, I think. It's almost like Face Off. When Nick Cage and John Travolta switched places, they had to kind of like vibe off
Nick
each
Cage
other.
was amazing as John Travolta.
Well,
Yeah.
a good comparison too could be Jumanji, with the kids getting sucked into the game, and
Yeah.
then the adult cast having to
Play them.
play the character plus the player.
Well, I mean, but they weren't playing two versions, right? In Jumanji, the adult cast.
I think it's the newer Jumanji that has the different feel to it, how they have to be different things. Like you have you have Kevin Hart being an older Danny Glover now.
There's that too. I'm just talking about someone's personality being in another human being's body
'Cause I'm
or a
just
video
trying to
game
picture this.
character.
I'm just picturing this like Vince Vaughn just killing 8 people before all of a sudden the swap happens.
Wait, I have a really good question. Right? This is I don't know. Something feels weird about asking this. Planeta Sophia is asking, if you have to choose someone to change bodies with from the Collider crew, who would it be?
Perry, instantly. Boom.
I'm not
flattered.
I'm not running marathons, so I'm sorry, Perry.
Oh, you're going to suffer, Jaby. I'm sorry.
I'm just so curious about what's going on with Perry when she's not on Collider. That's the
running
thing.
marathons. I'm not doing
Running marathons or sitting in movie theaters. That's about it.
Who would I change?
I feel like there's some secret adventure that you don't tell anybody about.
Josh McCougar.
Okay.
Josh McCougar, because I think we didn't think Josh is just wild 24/7. I believe Josh McCougar goes home with a bathrobe, smoking pipe, and footies, and just sits down and watch all type of BBC TV, and just is real calm and chill. And then all of a sudden somebody will take a camera and he's like, "Hold on for a second." It's the wild man, Josh McCougar. That's what I really believe he does. So yes, Josh McCougar.
And also get to like experience what it is to be that girl who has got like a lot of nerd guys who are just totally fawning over her.
That's an interesting thing to fantasize about.
I just an interesting experience.
Okay, yeah. I
Just-
could tell you about it sometime.
Okay, I'd be
And you
Darina
don't have to
then.
suffer.
I'd be Darina just so I can know what it's like to think about death 24/7
Oh, God.
and evil stuff.
I was gonna say like whoever's just a really good player in the Schmodown, but I feel like when you body swap with someone, you don't freaking swap brains.
Brains, you
like,
just swap their body,
But I
yeah.
really want to know what it feels like to be good at general Schmodown.
So you want to be William Bibiani, Dan Murrell, or John Roca? Well, not John Roca because he breaks under pressure.
I hope he watches this wherever he is right
he
now.
will.
All right, let's get this question here from Steve Calderon, who's asking, can you talk about that other Collider exclusive about Richard Linklater's next Boyhood-style project that will take 20 years to make? No, not 20 years to make. I think it covers characters' lives over the course of 20 years. I hope it doesn't take 20 years to make.
Oh, that was my
I don't know.
understanding. That was my understanding.
Was that how you read it?
That's how I read it, is that he's going to actually take 20
Take
years to
20
make
20
it.
years to make it.
Oh, like shoot it Boyhood style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh my god. All right. Well, this is the blurb that Jeff wrote up here. Linklater is directing. Yeah, I guess you're kind of. Well, I don't know. All right, let me read this first. Linklater is directing a new multi-year movie that will star Ben Platt and Beanie Feldstein. It's an adaptation of the Stephen Sondheim acclaimed musical Merrily We Roll Along, which itself was based on the 1934 play of the same name by George S. Kaufman and Moss Hart. The play takes place over the course of 20 years, and sources say that Linklater plans to stay true to that storyline. Merrily We Roll Along follows Franklin Shepard, a talented Broadway composer who abandons his theater career in New York and all his friends in order to produce movies in Los Angeles. Like the play, the musical begins at the height of his Hollywood fame and moves. No, you can't do this. And it moves backwards in time.
Yes, you can.
It moves
You
backwards
just wouldn't
in
be able to
time,
show
showing
anything until the movie's
snapshots
over.
of the most important moments in Frank's life that shaped the man he is today. Platt will play the lead, and Feldstein will play his best friend. Blah 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 blah. As the play and musical end when the No, I don't think they mean they're taking 20 years to shoot it. I think he's sticking to the timeline in the source material that it'll cover 20 years of their life.
The way technology changes with film.
Linklater's a very ambitious dude. I mean,
You
Boyhood.
almost got me there.
I mean, like, yo, we already got 4K and we're going higher. Can you imagine how it would look with the evolution of 20 years? That all of a sudden the actual people who were there in the beginning are still alive now
I
through
probably would
holograms
have
or whatever?
believed that if it's not the way they describe it here, because he says sources say the film is being shot in reverse chronological order as the play and musical end when the characters are in their mid-20s and just embarking on their entertainment careers. So it's going in reverse order.
I need to learn how to read, apparently.
I mean, no, Steve Calderon's a super smart guy, and apparently he made the same mistake. It's fascinating, though. I'll watch any Richard Linklater movie, so it does not matter what they announce as the next project. I am immediately sold. But the idea of having Ben Platt and Beanie Feldstein work together is really something special, because I think the two of them are great all on their own. It's kind of cool to know that they're good friends behind the scenes, though, because I feel like that group of actors that are all kind of on the rise together, they just have this really natural chemistry. So I'm excited for them to have an opportunity to work together on something like this.
Something this big and like you said,
I'm just impressed at how much I confused myself, because it's Linklater and he did Boyhood, and it said he plans to stay true to that timeline of 20 years. I'm like,
yeah, you're talking about the timeline of the.
Now I understand.
Yeah, 'cause I was
you don't
like-
have to rub it in.
I'm not, 'cause at first when I read it, and then I was like, when you said it, I was like, did I read this right?
Yeah.
Like,
All right.
I think he's an ambitious director, so I'm like, hey,
Do
go
I
for
dare
it.
ask you two more Twitter questions?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. All right, this isn't a question. Dorian, this is for you. Pardis is writing, I would definitely switch with Dorian because he is cool and funny and an awesome dude and gets that bread. We're allowed one bread joke on every episode of Movie Talk.
And that was the bread.
I feel like I'm indulging him way too much right now, but I'm kind of getting a kick out of it. Collider Fans is also asking if the panel could be any color of Ranger, what color would you be? As in Power Rangers.
Let me think. I got to go through Tommy's history of Rangers.
I was about to say Green Ranger or White Ranger.
It's either whatever. It's whatever Tommy's been, because
Yeah.
Tommy's always been like the best Ranger.
Yeah.
Let me think. I don't want to be Jason's Gold Ranger because that had.
I'd want to be Alpha. I'm kidding.
Alpha wasn't a Ranger.
I can see you being Alpha.
Like, well, as long as I'm like running the show.
Exactly.
I always felt like Billy and Blue always spoke to me just because he was like,
That makes
yeah, he's
sense.
like a little geeky and I
Yeah.
like tech and all that stuff. But if I could just pick just a color that isn't, connected to any specific individual, I would be wearing an orange suit
Billy is
They
how
have
I.
them.
Yeah.
Billy is how I learned
in
the word
future
hoax.
seasons.
Look, I'd go ahead and just go ahead and be the White Ranger just so I can break every stereotype. If you've ever, people are like, wouldn't they be the Black Ranger? No, because we've done that 19,000 times. Just
Didn't they mix up the colors for the movies though?
They changed after the first season, because the very first season, everybody was like, this is the most stereotypical thing with colors and Rangers that you
Oh
could
yeah,
ever
the Yellow
do.
Ranger was Asian, and so then they made
Yeah.
the Yellow Ranger black.
Then they switched around. Yeah, they was like, let's go on ahead and just shuffle this all up and just put it in a bag and just ta-da.
Yeah, they made the Asian one black. The Asian one was black.
Yeah.
In the second go
And
around.
the second one, and the black dude became
Yeah.
a Red Ranger for once. I was like, all right, we made it.
Yeah.
And remember, his name was TJ, and he made it. He was with Turbo Ranger.
All right, you want to try to get one more question in?
Sure.
We've got one from Leroy Kelly, and Leroy wants to know,
Leroy?
will Storm be in Black Panther 2?
Oh, I need people to stop asking this one.
Is this like a hot topic right now?
Because it's an easy thing to say now, the fact that Disney owns the Fox properties. And, because that's the relationship people want. You want the Storm T'Challa relationship because they have a prominent one in the comic books.
I was not aware of that.
Yeah, they have a very prominent relationship. And so everybody's like, we're going to get it. But it's like, you can't just throw Aurora Monroe in there.
What about Nakia?
I don't think Storm's going to be
okay with that.
I don't think Storm's going to be in Black Panther 2.
Yeah.
It's just not, because these stories are in development for a while.
Yeah, I don't think
there's time to just throw Storm in there.
I forgot who wrote this recently, but someone said I wouldn't expect to hear anything about the Mutants or Fantastic Four entering the MCU. Like, not even hear anything about plans until something like 2022.
The Eternals is the setup for everything going forward.
I still don't think we're going to see... I'm starting to think we're not going to see any mutants present in the MCU until like 2024 or something.
The next phase.
I mean, like, way down the line.
The end of Phase 5 will get it. But
but I feel like the end of Phase 5 might just tee it up.
Well, we might do that, but I know for a fact the Eternals is the launching pad for everything mutants. So y'all can stop worrying about how we're gonna do it. It's the Eternals. That is the reason for this movie.
I don't know. I feel like Disney's all about fan service right now, like the maximum fan service possible. They'll get it in the next phase. Something. They'll get some kind of.
Wow, we're all over the map on this one.
Yeah.
I feel like this is the real bet to get started right now.
I just wanted to.
All right, wait.
Phase 5.
Let's play this out right now. And I know none of us are going to remember our answers in something like 2 hours. So, if you had to make a prediction, I'm not just talking about the existence of mutants. When a familiar mutant, an iconic mutant, hits the big screen in an MCU movie, what calendar year will that be?
2022.
I don't know what calendar. I can just say Phase 5. That's
2022.
No, you got to pick a year.
I don't know. 2021.
Oh, that's way soon.
That's way soon.
I'm sticking with...
Because all you need is one.
I'm going 2023.
Because Wolverine can be the one.
You can easily just drop someone in the post-credit scene of any of these movies.
Remember, we always have had a super soldier with Steve Rogers. Wolverine was Weapon X in Canada. He could have been in Canada for the longest. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm performing tonight.
I think Wolverine's the last one we'll see, just because Hugh Jackman is so present in our minds as Wolverine. It'll be a while before we
This is part of the
replace him.
reason why I think it's going to be a gap.
I think
they're going to wait. They're going to build it up right, and we're not going to see it for a while.
I think that we've accepted that Hugh Jackman is no longer Wolverine. It's just a matter of who we put in that place. I think we've come to the acceptance. All right, he's done that. He's given us 20 years. We can let him go. He's earned his right, just like Robert Downey Jr. We respect it. He's gone. Now it's who do you put in that role? When everybody was like, it was Kit Harington. That's like, it's not him. Then everybody's like, oh, well, it should be.
What's the name of Kit Harington's character
He's
again?
Dane Whitman, a.k.a. the Black Knight.
Okay, cool.
Then it was like, okay, what about Taron Egerton? People are throwing names out of who it could be. I think that's
Taron
the
Egerton.
one. Some people have literally thrown out Taron Egerton as a Wolverine.
I fully believe that Taron Egerton can do just about anything. Have you seen it? From Kingsman to Eddie the Eagle to Rocket Man. That kid's got so much range. He can do anything.
Can he be a snarky, short Canadian with a short temper?
I think, yeah, why not? Why not?
Okay, all right, because that's what Wolverine is.
I thought you were being sarcastic with me for a minute because I feel like he's exhibited some of those qualities.
Yeah, because that's what Wolverine is, a snarky, short Canadian with a very short temper. So that's what you want.
Well, my dad told me when we saw X-Men that Hugh Jackman reminded him of a young Clint Eastwood. And so for me, I'd be curious to see how Clint Eastwood's son would do. I know he's not the best actor, but he just naturally exhibits that face, that attitude. So
I just want to say where I'm at tonight. That's all I want to say now.
All right, we'll do that because we should wind down the show right now.
Stuff, and he's just not doing enough work. I just want to see him do more stuff.
Yeah. I'm sure his career
nepotism will work in his favor in a strong way.
Eventually, right?
All right, Jay, what did you want to say now?
Oh, tonight I'm doing my 1 hour stand-up comedy special at Catch One Underground, 4067 West Pico Boulevard. You can go to my social media, Twitter, Instagram, hit me up. Tickets available now. Get the tickets, come on out, come laugh. I'm doing a hot hour on stage. Got other people, all of them.
All the best, Jay. You're going to crush it as you always do. Jaby, where can everyone find you on the internet?
Get Jaby on YouTube.
Yeah, nice, short, and sweet. All right, we are going to say goodbye. But before we do that, thank you to Adam in the booth. Thank you to Dorian in the live chat. And thank you to all of you for watching this episode of Movie Talk. You better tune in tomorrow, 3 p.m. PT, because we got a new episode for you. And we're doing some sort of best of summer awards. We're going to talk about the best performances, the best directors, and some other categories. And we've got Silas Lesnick and Josh McCouga on that show. So check that out. Like and share this specific episode of Movie Talk, and we'll see you soon.